Back to another video, and today we got our Week 6 NFL game predictions. We're going to be looking at all 15 games this week. We got two teams on bye this week. We're going to be looking at all 15 games, making our predictions, giving our little analysis, insight, just kind of thoughts on every game, as well as a brief recap of how every team looked last week as we kind of break down these matchups. Real quick, though, before we get started, make sure you subscribe if you're new, like this video if you enjoy. I appreciate all the support on the most recent videos. It's really, exciting to see. We're trying to build a community here. So yeah, subscribe if you're new. We do college basketball, college football, NFL, NBA, and MLB. So if any of that interests you, go down there, subscribe. But without further ado, let's go ahead and look at the standings. We got a tie here at first. Now I say this every week. I've won this. Me and my friends have done this for 4 years in a row. This is the 5th year. I've won all 4 years, so I'm looking for the 5-peat. I have the second place there, but I'm tied for first as of right now. We got an interesting little arrangement going on. Matthew usually is in the top 3. He's a little behind. I guess he's only 2 games back of third, but I think he's gotten second the past 2 or 3 years. So we'll see if he can figure it out. And yeah, we got a nice little close race there for the third place, little medal, and then obviously tied at the top here. So it's going to be interesting here. Thursday Night Football, Eagles versus Giants. The Giants do get this one at home, but there's realistically no way I'm not picking the Eagles. I know Saquon Barkley's a little beat up, so that'll be interesting. We're going to keep monitoring that. But even without him, I still feel pretty good about this Eagles team. They kind of aired out the ball last week. They were trying to get A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith a little bit more involved, and it didn't end up working. So I'm assuming they just go back to their game plan, their original game plan, which is run the ball with Saquon Barkley, run the ball with Jalen Hurts, and play very good defense. I think the Eagles defense should have a really good game. The over-under is pretty low in this one. Eagles also favored by 7.5. I could see the Eagles covering that for sure. I just don't really trust the Giants and Jackson Dart, rookie quarterback, in the short week. I'm not loving all these factors they've got going against them. So I do I feel pretty good about this Eagles pick here. Yeah, I mean they're getting Tyrone Tracy back, so I guess that's good for New York. But I'm expecting Scatterby to continue to be the starter there, and obviously they're without Malik Neighbors, so Jackson Dart also without Darius Slayton, so they're pretty beat up. The Giants are. I expect the Eagles to get this one pretty easily here. Broncos Jets. We got another London game. We got a lot of international games here the past few weeks. It's interesting. It's always a tough place to play early in the morning. The Jets kind of came back a little bit. They looked all right against the Cowboys there in the second half. Justin Fields kind of got going in the second half, but they do end up losing. I will say the Jets, I don't know how much longer they hold on to Aaron Glenn. I don't really know if that experiment's working out. Right now, they have the worst record in the league. They're the only team without a win, 0-5. You don't love that, especially with a team that supposed to be defensive-oriented, defensive-first. Their defense hasn't been great this year. They got a lot of playmakers over there, but it's not really clicking. They also have playmakers on the offensive side. Garrett Wilson, obviously. Breece Hall, I know they're without Braylon Allen, which is kind of a big loss. But their tight end, Mason Taylor, I believe his name is, he's been kind of breaking out. So it'll be interesting to see that. But with all that being said, I'm going to take the 6.5-point favorite. I'm going to take the Broncos. The Broncos look good, man. If they continue to play like this, get some inconsistency on offense, limit the turnovers from Bo Nix, I think this Broncos team could be dangerous because that defense looks really good. They look really legit on defense. If I was a team, I would not want to play the Broncos right now. They're looking really strong, so I'm going to take them here. The Cardinals versus the Colts. Interesting little spot here. The Cardinals lost to the Titans. Will that affect them here? Will they kind of lay down and just surrender and give up, or will that push them to go out and want this game even more? Because they definitely should not have lost to the Titans. They should not have blown that lead. The Colts continue to look great. They're 4-1, and they are rolling, man. Daniel Jones is getting going. Jonathan Taylor had 3 touchdowns last week, I believe, and they just dropped 40 points on the Raiders. It's hard for me not to go with the Colts here at home with the way they've looked. They're 7.5-point favorites. I could see Arizona covering that, honestly, but I do think the Colts will win. They're just playing too good right now, man. I'm sorry. It's really that simple. The Cardinals also got some weird stuff going on with the coach, Jonathan Gannon, punching DeMarcado after he fumbled, which was a very bad play, but he got fined like $100K. It's a lot of things going on inside the locker room there. So I'm going to take the Colts. They're looking really strong, man. They're 4-1. Shout out to Daniel Jones. He's really just came out of nowhere this season, rejuvenated his career. Next game, Chargers Dolphins. It's going to be in Miami. Miami's kind of looking a little bit better these past few weeks. They did kind of just blow it though against the Panthers, which is not a game you wanted to lose, especially when they were in control of that game for so long. And I know they're without Tyreek Hill, but they brought in Darren Waller. He's had back-to-back pretty good weeks. Coming out of retirement there. That's interesting. That's something to keep a close eye on. We'll see if he keeps on playing at this level, which honestly he might. With no Tyreek Hill, he's going to get a lot of targets. Jalen Waddle looked really good. A-Chain obviously doing his thing. With all that being said, I know the Chargers just lost Hampton for 4 weeks. He's on IR now, so the Chargers are pretty beat up. Running back room, no Najee, no Hampton. Offensive line lost their 2 tackles right now, so they have, they're losing a lot of guys. Even then, I'm still going to take the Chargers. It's hard for me to pick against them. I mean, they still have Quentin Johnston, who's been amazing, Keenan Allen and Ladd McConkey, Justin Herbert, obviously. I just don't really trust Tua that much, so I'm going to go ahead and take the Chargers to get this win here. Next game, though, New England going to New Orleans to play this one. The Saints just got their first win of the season last week against the Giants. I believe I was either the only or one of 2 to pick the Saints last week, so I got a little point up on everyone on that game. Will I do it again? I can honestly see it. Spencer Rattler kind of looks serviceable, which is crazy to say out loud, but obviously the situation here to monitor is, will Kamara get traded? Because I'm seeing a lot of rumors surrounding him, in the world right now, in the league right now. So if Kamara gets dealt, we'll see. I mean, he could end up on the Chargers, maybe the Chiefs, something like that. I could see that. And the Saints have said they're willing to trade some of their veteran pieces to, really just go for the full tank, get a good draft pick next year. But Spencer Rattler doesn't look that bad. I'm going to have to take the Patriots, though. The Patriots could very well be 4-1 right now. They probably should have won that game against the Steelers earlier this season. Christian Gonzalez coming back in has really just, brought this defense back from the dead, because it was pretty bad without him. But now they're looking like a serviceable unit out there. Drake May's still doing his thing. Diggs just had a huge spot in the revenge game. I want them to utilize TreVeyon Henderson more. I think everybody does. I think Patriots fans do. I think fantasy owners of TreVeyon Henderson want that to happen. I feel like it's got to happen this week. Ramondre keeps fumbling. Antonio Gibson's out for the season. So hopefully they get TreVeyon going a little bit more. But we'll obviously see. I think the Patriots do go out and get a win. They're 3.5-point favorites. I don't know if I'd touch that line. I think that's, the Saints could maybe keep it within 3, but also the Patriots could probably win by a touchdown. It's kind of a weird game. I could honestly see the Saints winning. I'm going to take the Patriots, though. I think it's a safer, smarter pick. We got an AFC North matchup here, Browns versus Steelers. This game is going to be very low scoring, both these teams with really solid defenses. I think both these teams may try to get it going on the ground, kind of control the game. I think with Jalen Warren, I believe, who's coming back in, if I'm not mistaken. If not, though, Kenneth Gainwell looked pretty good. The Steelers coming off the bye. They're going to be well rested, like I said. Hopefully Jalen Warren is back. I think he is. With that being said, though, I think this game could be like a 17-13 game, 17-10, 14-10. Kind of an ugly little, boring AFC North physical game, which may actually favor the Browns because their defense has been so good, and Quinshon Judkins has been so good. I could see him kind of having a big day here. What it really comes down to for me is, the Browns coming back from, Europe. The Steelers coming off the bye. The Browns are going to have to turn it around from London, go into Pittsburgh. The Steelers have just been on the bye the past week. I think they're going to be well rested, well prepared. I think the Steelers go out and win this one. I think Dylan Gabriel could maybe, lose them this game, maybe throw 2 picks or something of that nature. I'm not too high on Dylan Gabriel at this point, so I'm going to take the Steelers. I think they do get a win here coming out of their bye. Cowboys-Panthers, this is an interesting one. I'm starting to like a little with what I'm seeing from the Panthers. I believe they're, 2-3 now? Not terrible. The Cowboys do look pretty good offensively, though. Dak's playing at like an MVP level. I think he's leading the league in passing. He's been really good. The Cowboys have scored almost 40 points like 3 times. The only times they didn't was once against the Bears and one against the Eagles. The Eagles have an amazing defense. But against the Giants, they scored 40. Against the Packers, which we thought was the best defense in the league, they scored 40. They just scored 37 against the Jets. This could definitely be a shootout kind of game. The over-under is 50.5. I could see this one getting up there in the points total. With that being said, I think that'll favor the Cowboys a little bit more, so I'm not going to take the Panthers at home. But the Panthers, man, I don't know. They beat the Falcons 30-0. Then they kind of laid an egg against the Patriots. But then they beat the Dolphins in comeback fashion. I could see them sticking around. I could see the Panthers winning this one. But I don't have the guts to go against everyone and pick the Panthers. I do still think the Cowboys are probably the more likely team to win this game. But I could see the Panthers winning this one for sure. I wouldn't be surprised. Seahawks, Jags. This is two teams I'm not too sure how I feel about either of them. Again, I could see this one going either way. It's in Jacksonville, which helps out a lot. Something weird about the Seahawks, though. They're really bad on the road. They're really bad at home, but they're really good on the road. I think they're like 9-1. On the road with their head coach, and then at home it's like 3-8 or something like that. It's really strange. They are on the road this one, so I don't know how much I'm going to buy into that, but it is an interesting little stat there. The Seahawks are dealing with some injuries to their corners. Devin Witherspoon, I think, is out. Tariq Woolen, I think he had a concussion, so he might be out as well. If they're without both those guys, that could be kind of an issue. You're going up against Brian Thomas and Travis Hunter, who really haven't done much either, but they haven't really need to. I mean, it's crazy to say, but the Jags are 4-1 right now. They just beat the Chiefs in primetime there on Monday night. ETN's been really solid all year. I am going to go with the Seahawks because I do think the Seahawks defense is still really solid. I know they're dealing with a lot of injuries, but I'm going to trust JSN and the offense to get it done. The Jaguars defense has forced the most turnovers in the league. I think that might, cool down a little bit. I think Sam Darnold has been doing a decent job taking care of the football. And I think the playmakers on Seattle's offense will be enough to get them a win here. But I could see the Jags for sure winning this at home. They're actually the favorite in this game, so I'm surprised to see on the Seahawks there because they technically are the underdog. Rams-Ravens, this is an interesting one. If you told me this was told this game a couple weeks ago, you'd think, wow, this could potentially be like a Super Bowl preview. I mean, that's not crazy to say. The Rams have been amazing, and the Ravens, obviously, you look at their talent, they're a contender. But now you look at the Ravens, maybe have the worst defense in the league with all the injuries. Now, if they're fully healthy, obviously, you don't say that. But Kyle Van Noy's been beat up. Roquan Smith, Matabike I think, is out for the year now. I'm not sure if Kyle Hamilton's playing. He might be, but then again, I wouldn't be surprised if just everyone on this team is injured. You had Marlon Humphrey out, Nate Wiggins getting beat up. So there's just so many injuries. They just traded Odafe Owe as well. So I don't know what the Ravens are doing. They're trying to shake things up, I guess, but they're dealing with so many injuries. It doesn't look like Lamar's going to play either. So that makes it pretty easy for me to pick the Rams. If Lamar's playing, I'd consider it. I'd probably still take the Rams, honestly, just because of the defense and the Ravens. Their defense has been bad, man. And I know that it's because of the injuries, but it's been so bad. I think the Rams offense is going to have a big day here. I'm going to take Stafford. He's been dealing. Titans, Raiders. The Titans just got their first win of the season, so we could clap it up for them. Congratulations if you are a Titans fan watching this. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to win this game. I think Vegas wins it at home. 3.5-point favorites. Both these teams 1-4. Geno is, going to throw 2 or 3 picks a game. I think that's just, what's going to happen now. But I think Genty could potentially get going in this one. I will say for the Titans, Jeffrey Simmons looks really good, man. But the Titans have kind of given up big runs left and right. They gave up big runs to Jonathan Taylor. They gave up, a big run to DeMercado last week. I know he didn't score, but I can see Genty, pulling that off, getting a big run in here. I think Brock Bowers has been, playing on the injury. Obviously, maybe he'll be able to figure it out. I just really don't love. I really don't love Cam Ward. I'm not fully bought in yet, and I'm not really fully bought into this Titans team as well. I think the Titans, in my opinion, are the worst team in the league, but with that being said, I'm going to take the Raiders at home. Bengals, Packers. The Bengals maybe could be a little interesting here with Joe Flacco in there at this point. He's gonna throw the ball. He's gonna chuck the ball. He's gonna air it out. We'll see how adjusted he is to the new offense. He's only going to have a couple days to prepare, and they have said he is going to start. So I'm happy to see they didn't. They got rid of Jake Browning. He was obviously not going to be. He's not doing it for them. But I kind of wish they brought in like Winston, or I know that they'd have to pay him a little bit more, but Winston, man, I feel like he'd just be the great. He could just chuck the ball to Chase and T. Higgins, and I know Joe Flacco will probably just end up doing that as well. The Bengals still have Chase Brown. They're still a good team. But with Green Bay at home, coming out of the bye, they're 14.5-point favorites. I think the Bengals could probably cover that, just because, I think Joe Flacco will just end up airing it out. They came back there at the end against the Lions. They lost by 13. I'm not sure what the spread was, but they scored some points in garbage time there at the end. I'm going to take the Packers at home, though. I don't think Flacco's going to be fully adjusted to this offense, so they might have to simple it down for him here when he's, figuring it all out. The Packers' defense has been really solid, and obviously they're coming out of the bye at home. All the signs are pointing Packers for me, so I'm going to go ahead and take them. Niners-Bucks. This one is maybe the hardest game to pick for me. The Niners just keep continuing to beat these good teams. They're 4-1. With the amount of injuries they've had, it's crazy to say that they've been able to do this. And the Bucks also been dealing with a lot of injuries. They get a big win against Seattle. Both these teams have been beating a lot of good teams. Now they're going to play each other. Who will end up holding on? Both these teams 4-1. Both these teams probably going to be playoff teams. The Niners, I'm not sure if Brock Purdy's playing. I'm not sure if Mac Jones is playing. If it is the third string, it makes it pretty easy for me to take the Bucks. I'm assuming it's not going to be. I'm assuming it's going to be Mac Jones. Maybe it's Purdy. Maybe Purdy comes back in. I really couldn't tell you what's going on in San Fran. They're going to be without Kittle as well for this game, but he's been out for a while. It's obviously going to be important to monitor Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings, but honestly, maybe it's not because they beat the Rams, which is a team that I thought was one of the best teams in the league last week without him. So, we'll ultimately see. I'm going to take the Bucks. I just love how Baker is able to close out these games and really just lead a game-winning drive. I could see him getting a game-winning field goal again in this one. Ibuka's just been lights out, man. Chris Godwin's getting back into the offense. I'm not sure if Bucky Irving will play. That'll be something to monitor, but both these teams are pretty banged up. I think Rachaad White is just fine, honestly. So I'm going to take the Bucks at home to get this win. Sunday night's a good one. Lions-Chiefs. The Chiefs are 2-3. They're trying not to move to 2-4. I'm really surprised they lost to the Jaguars. I don't know how that happened, if I'm being honest. But nevertheless, here we are. They're trying not to lose their fourth game of the season, only 6 weeks in. It's crazy that the Chiefs are in this position. They're actually favored in this game though by 2.5. I'm surprised to see I'm surprised not to see more people on the Chiefs. Home team, they don't usually lose at home. In Arrowhead, it's a very tough place to play. They're a very good team at home, so that's kind of makes me want to pick the Chiefs. I'm really back and forth on this one. The Lions, though, in my opinion, have looked like the best team in football at this point. I'm going to take the Lions. It's hard for me not to pick them, man. They just look so good, man. You look at this offense, they have so many playmakers. So, yeah, it's very hard for me not to pick the Lions. Like I said, I think they've probably been the best team in football up until this point, at least to me. So I'm going to take the Lions, but I could definitely see the Chiefs winning this one. It's 2.5. Maybe the Lions cover. Maybe it's like a 28-27 kind of game. Probably actually more high-scoring than that. Maybe like 34-33, 31-30, something in that realm. It's going to be a high-scoring game, I think. If it is, it favors the Lions a little bit more because the Chiefs' defense does look a little suspect right now. But it is very hard for me to pick the Chiefs to lose at home. I'm just going to go with the team that I think is better right now. Bills-Falcons, the first of two Monday night games. The Falcons get this one coming off the bye at home. The Bills are going to have to play back-to-back primetime games. This one on the road, it's kind of a far travel. I can see the Falcons being sneaky here and getting a little bit of an upset. I'm not going to pick the Falcons just because it's hard for me to believe the Bills lose twice, especially against the Patriots and the Falcons. I think the Bills are better than those teams. I think that's fair to say. The Patriots did just beat them, but you know what I mean. The Bills are better than the Patriots. Sometimes head-to-head in the NFL, it's not as important as college. But yeah, I got to go with the Bills. It's hard for me to pick them to lose twice in a row. But if somebody did go with the Falcons here, I wouldn't hate that pick. At home, coming off the bye, they're going to be well rested, well prepared, very ready to go. So yeah, I'm going to take the Bills to get this one done. But could definitely go either way. And then this last game, Bears-Commanders, I was going to take the Bears in this one. I really was. I was buying in. Coming out of the bye, I think Ben Johnson's figured it out. Caleb Williams and Roma Doomsday looks like a dangerous connection. So I was really excited to go ahead and see that, in this one, in the spot here against the Commanders. But everyone's on the Bears. The Commanders at home, 4.5-point favorites. They just came off of a win against a Chargers team that I was giving so much props to, thinking they were one of the best teams in the league. So, with that, I kind of have to pick the Commanders here at home. It just seems like everyone's giving me this game. I thought everyone would be on the Commanders. I thought I was going to be the only one on the Bears. Turns out it's the opposite. So I guess I'll just go ahead and take the favorite. But I do like the Bears' spot here. It's a revenge game from last year when they lost on the Hail Mary. A lot of their defensive guys are coming back and getting healthy. I think T.J. Edwards is back. I think Grady Jarrett's back. I believe Kyler Gordon's back. Those are all starters for this defense, so I could definitely see it. We're going to have to see if Terry McLaurin's playing. I'm not sure if he will. I don't think he will. But Jaden Daniels coming back really just rejuvenated this offense. I think Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt could have a really nice game. He had a good game against the Chargers last week, and the Bears' run defense is pretty bad. So I think he's going to have a good game, and I think the Bears do end up losing at home against the Commanders. But I really wanted to pick the Bears. I thought I would be the only one over there. I thought that would be my upset, and everybody's on the Bears. So I'll take Washington at home, I guess. But that's going to do it for the Week 6 NFL game predictions. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure you go down there, like this video, subscribe if you're new. Comment down below, what are your thoughts? What do you agree? What do you disagree? Am I an idiot? What am I wrong at? I'd love to discuss down there. But yeah, make sure you subscribe. We're doing college football every Tuesday, NFL every Wednesday, MLB videos every week. We should have one. I'm going to wait till after the divisional series are done to make another MLB video, and then obviously NBA content and college basketball content. Those are going to be weekly, and those are going to be starting right around the corner in a few weeks. So very exciting time to be a part of the channel. Make sure you go on there, subscribe. But that is going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you guys in a few days, actually, with another MLB video.